Good evening. We are live from the iconic Governor's Comedy Club on the iconic Hempstead Turnpike in Levittown. My name is Tom Galati.
And I'm Brett Fumara. Hi.
And you are
awesome.
Live with us tonight in studio at Governor's Comedy. This is Cars and Comedy. And how you doing tonight, Brett?
I'm good. I just went to RPM Raceway. Do you know where that is? That's in Farmingdale.
Yep.
And I went there a few years ago. I haven't been there in a while. And so I took my son, he's 10, and Jason, and his friend Brandon and their parents. And we went, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of people. I was surprised.
It's crowded?
Yeah. I feel like we're starting to come out of things. Like it felt good as far as that way. Obviously, you're walking around with your mask and that kind of stuff and the usual social distancing protocols. But it was really cool. They have the kids. They have their own kind of race. I thought we were going to all race together. Mm-hmm. Like, I get competitive. I really
So
wanna.
it was you,
Me, Sue, my wife, my son Jason, and his friend and their parent and his parents.
Okay.
So 6 of us. I thought we were all going to race together, but no, the parents have to go separately.
Right, different age groups.
Different age groups. So the kids go with the kids, the adults go with the adults. And, because I'm competitive. I think, I feel like my wife was competitive, but she wasn't today. Not today. We took care of business today. We handled it. She likes driving fast on, the Seaford Oyster Bay. That's fine. All that kind of stuff is good. When it's time to race legally on a closed track with a helmet and a neck brace and super tight seatbelt in a nice little tight ride, that's when we stay in the right lane. That's the time to stay in the right lane.
Ultra-conservative.
And cruise. Right. I must have lapped her at least 3 times. 3 times. It was great. And every time, just the old Simpsons. But she can't hear me. You can't hear each other. And what's funny, and I didn't realize it till afterwards, looking at the standing. So there were 8 racers. I came in 3rd, and my wife came in 8th. The last place
out of 7 races.
That was the weird part. There were 7 races. I'm like, honey, come on. So I'm looking at now they call everybody into individual groups. Okay, group racer 186, you're ready. Group 186, and then they call individual names. Mm-hmm. And a little tough to hear, but I'm guessing the person who is in our particular race was aware of this situation, and so his name in the standings was Seymour Cox.
Uh-huh.
So I'm sure they made a nice little announcement of Seymour Cox, your race is ready. Mike Hunt, please, thank you. Come over here too.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't their first race.
It definitely was not.
They knew the drill.
So if you want, I screenshot. I put it on my Radio Brett Instagram story. If you want to check it out.
Yeah, how do people follow you if they want to follow you on the gram?
At Radio Brett on Instagram and Twitter. Those are the 2 probably best ways to reach me, but I prefer Instagram.
All right.
I like Instagram. I want to get more.
You're
more
very
followers
active on
there.
the Instagram stories.
I try to be. I try to give the people there a good
snapshot your life.
of my life, and it all started. I don't know if I told you this.
All right, the show's only an hour. So,
I'm sorry. And how are you today there, Tommy?
I'm doing well. My daughter had a soccer game in Lindenhurst.
And how does that happen? Because you live on the complete
I live in Northport.
Opposite end.
Yes. So, so it turns out when you're on a travel league, you get to travel.
That's
throughout
fantastic.
Long Island. Yeah.
There's nobody closer, nobody in between.
No teams between Northport and Lindenhurst to go play.
North Shore, South Shore.
Yeah. Straight down the Sunken Meadow or the Sagticos.
Screw you, Farmingdale. Screw you.
Yeah, that's kind of confusing. I know for anyone watching outside of Long Island, how I think north of maybe Pulaski Road, it's called the Sunken Meadow, and then south of that, it's called the Sagticos.
Correct, but at least there's signage too.
It's the same strip.
It's the same road.
Right. So we did that today, and it was good. It was they tied 1-1. My daughter played really well. The team played well, but it was chilly down there. It was cold. We left the house. It was like 71 degrees in Northport. Wind was ripping off of the Great South Bay,
right,
and it was easily 10 degrees cooler there.
I don't know if you know this, Tom. Usually the South Shore is cooler than the North Shore. If you take a look at the weather map over here, if you see over here,
we have a high pressure system coming
in here.
Right over the G and Govs.
Now, if you look at the G and Govs, picture that is a northern Nassau. It's always going to be kind of warmer there, and especially the North Shore too of Long Island. As you head further south, we've got those southerly breezes, which
Right.
sometimes can help, sometimes not so much in your case today. So I'm very sorry.
Yes.
You had to get the colder version.
I had the colder
of
version
Long
of this-
Island
of this
today
beautiful
instead
day.
of the North Shore warm weather. Bring me the warm weather on my North Shore, please. Thank you.
And I'll take a Mai Tai as well, please.
This Lindenhurst weather is horrific.
It's terrible.
I want no part of this. Honey, score a goal so we can leave.
So that was my, and it's funny because I timed it. I thought I timed it well because I said, all right, it's a 2:40 game, so it means game runs an hour,
Right.
And so game's gonna end at 3:40. Shoot back home, shit, shave, and shower, and then head out the door.
Right.
Game started a little late, so I kind of ran in the house, ran out of the house, and luckily I made it here in time.
You
You
did
and
it,
I
buddy.
pulled up right next door to the Sally. Why does it always smell like bacon next door? Does he just make bacon all day, or is
Yeah, it's a big hit over there. Yeah, the food is just fantastic.
Everything, not just bacon, egg, and cheeses.
they've
Any
good-
kind of
good
sandwich.
sandwiches
They even
and-
have a good burger. Yeah,
nice.
it's really good.
And you have to get bacon on it, obviously.
right.
Or else,
It's
what's the
law.
point of going there? Anything you get there has to have bacon.
So I'm just sharing the broadcast out a little bit. And I have to pick and choose a little bit. Don't want to share it out on all the pages that I'm associated with.
How many pages are you
Doesn't make
associated
sense.
with?
A lot.
Damn.
Popular guy, Radio
Okay,
Brett.
all right. Damn, all right.
And actually, as I do
Share
that,
away.
one of the things you and I haven't had a chance to catch up
What's that?
personally all that much in the last few days, but changes at BAB with broadcast times for Roger and JP.
Yes,
right?
the Roger and JP. Well, it's not necessarily a little bit of a change, I guess, for the actual morning show part too. So I'm with Roger and JP on WBAB 102.3, and here in Long Island, and we were on 5:30 to 9. We're now on till 10. That's a good one, a good little adjustment. And now
Right.
also at night, starting at 7, you have a as they call it, a second shot with Roger and JP. So some of the best stuff from the day or in the past. Take a listen.
Is
You get it.
that play on words with getting your second vaccine?
No. Although I did do that myself. My dad, who was had his shot, he's good now too. He actually
That's
got
good.
it. No Suburbans
And
were
is he
used
feeling
to
better
hit
after
him.
getting sideswiped by a
He's
Suburban?
all right. He's all right. I mean, he doesn't have the what do you call the sling anymore. Getting better day by day, and he just started rehab. He does it over at Northwell.
Nice.
Those guys.
That's good.
With those guys.
Islanders playing tonight too.
They are playing them, and so he does physical therapy with Matt Martin.
Okay.
And what they do to kind of even the shoulders out, Matt Martin checks you into the wall. So it's great. He loves it. My dad's a big Islander fan, you know that. So it's
Yep.
really cool to be checked by Matt Martin.
Matt
Clutterbuck
Martin.
comes in too.
Nice,
Gives
that's good.
And they even have Kasperitis. Remember Darius
Darius Kasparaitis,
He's one of the
he's coming
trainers
in
that
with
he
that hip
uses his
check.
butt. He gives the old hip check. He slides back into, and it's great. So my dad will be hurting from all sides of his body very, very soon. That's the goal.
Well,
Fingers
that's good.
crossed.
That's the way it should be.
It's a different kind of physical therapy, but you know what? When you're an Islander fan, it's kind of like a dream come true.
Right, to get checked into the boards
By
any
Islanders.
of those guys.
Yes, while you're trying to rehab a shoulder. So it's good.
All right, good. So we have some things on tap for the show. We have some trivia, some cool car trivia. We I think we made the questions a little bit harder this time,
Okay.
which is good because I think they were pretty easy last time. So for all the car people watching tonight, I think they'll be a little bit harder. That's what she said. And
I noticed you said oral before too.
I think, yeah.
I was gonna let that slide until
Yeah, thanks. And what else? We also have Al Yeselier calling in. We're going to talk to him at 6 o'clock. He was originally coming in for our last show, wasn't feeling 100%, and actually same thing for this week. So he said, you know what, I'll call in. He's coming out of retirement for his Monday Night Takeover.
And,
So,
and when did he? I'm not 100%. I've heard the name. I'm not 100% familiar with him. But when did he go into retirement?
I don't know. It's a good question for us to ask him.
Okay.
I don't
Well,
know
you
when
brought
the
it up,
exact
so I thought you
date
knew.
was when he stopped. I know it was prior to quarantine. So it'll be fun to have Al on and talk to him about. So he's in the automotive business, very very well known in the Long Island car show scene, and he has his auto glass place too, which is really cool.
Very nice.
Yeah. So
when you're talking about the radio before too, we also
Yeah.
do a show in Tampa, middays on 102.5 The Bone, and we were talking about yesterday, and I'm not 100%, I got to look it up here right now, but there's supposedly in St. Pete, they do something called the St. Pete Grand Prix, and if I understood it correctly, they shut down streets and do racing throughout St. Pete. Is that Sally, have you heard of it or no?
No, sorry.
That's all right.
Sally's
I'm just
a
trying
big-
to excite.
Sally's a big car racing fan too. So
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just trying to get perspective on it. It seems like, first of all, can you imagine what it would take? If you really want to know the difference between Florida and here, can you imagine if that is the case, where they're shutting down streets to do a Grand Prix? We could barely get permits to do foot races
yeah,
here. We can't even get a drag strip here.
right.
But they're shutting down
on
streets
on private property, right?
private property and racing through the area. I can't imagine that in any way, shape, or form here. Is there what do you know the status in the drag strip thing that you hear about?
Well, it's
for
funny.
so many years.
Yeah, my sister's friend Tom appears to know something about this, so maybe we could double check with him at some point. But yeah, so
He's a big listener to the show.
he is.
You're talking about the
big fan,
Tom?
the Tom.
Oh my god.
So I know it was a big struggle, but it sounds like it's actually coming together. So actually, it would be interesting to talk about that on a future show, or maybe once it's coming together from anyone from that group, because they're a very active group.
Active, passionate,
right.
and you would think by now they'd be able to get something done.
Right. And, car racing, on the streets with drag, the cops have come down a lot on that, and perhaps rightfully so, because it creates a hazard for, for normal.
Everyday people not
Everyday-
expecting
right.
to be in a drag race.
Yeah. So, it would be great to have a place to go. And then you think of, I know this is the case for other things too, and not looking to get political, but, if not, people could leave Long Island to go to a place like, Raceway Park in New Jersey. There's places where you go and you, and you can go do that outside of the New York, Long Island area. And, it'd be great to keep those people here,
Right.
keep the revenue here, right? Why go, of course there would be tax revenue associated with it. So it'd be good to have that happen. Maybe we could see what Al's thoughts are on that.
And the Riverhead Raceway is a little bit of everything, right? You can race
They've-
your own cars there if
they've
needed,
a-
right? Or is that
They have a lot of different classes. There's some guys from Hicksville, Chris Dane. They have this ham racing team where they all kind of help each other out, and
Okay.
they have all cars with the ham racing logos on it, and they go out there. And there's a lot of different classes and divisions, but it's basically like they do the figure eight racetrack out there. So I went there a couple times with my boys, and it's loud. So
And
you-
participated?
whenever the head-
Or you
I
just
did not.
watched?
Yeah, no. I mean,
boys, get out there?
I cut a few people off in the parking lot, so I don't know if that counts, and cursed a few.
Absolutely it counts. You're setting a good example for the kids,
Yeah.
and that's what that kind of situation is about.
But it's cool. That's I think that's been out there for a long time. The Riverhead Raceway, and
Did it ever shut down at one point?
I think it did. And there was a documentary about it, and it's got a really long history, and it's a cool place, and it's great that that's in our backyard too, because there's a lot of people that are very passionate about that too,
Yeah.
and spend a lot of time putting together race cars to to bring out there, and they basically do it through like a point system too. So they'll do races a couple of times over the course of the summer, or like spring to fall, and you get points. So even if you come in fifth, it's not like, well, that's it. I had
Get
my
out.
chance. I
You're
didn't
right.
win the race.
Hope you had a good time.
Right, but you'll get points, and then each time along the way, you can do well over the course of a season, and place that way, which is cool.
Nice. Is there any other racing stuff on Long Island?
No, there's a raceway in the Hamptons, which I think it's been probably about 40 or 50 years at least since that's been open, probably if not more. So and Long Island actually has a lot of automotive history with racing with Vanderbilt. The Vanderbilt races,
Vanderbilt Parkway.
Right. So, it's kind of along the lines of what you were saying. Like they would just be racing along,
Yep.
Long Island roads, and I guess it was different in the 1920s.
How so?
But I actually really like going to the Vanderbilt Museum up in Centerport, and supposedly the car that the son had, it was just recently. It was announced that it was going to be restored. So it was like downstairs, like in a lower garage at the Vanderbilt Museum and Planetarium.
Do they still do Pink Floyd laser light shows?
Yes, they do.
That's the last time I was there. I think like 20
in 1996 on a date or something.
Absolutely
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that was always a cool thing to do, and they still have that there. But if anything, I think it's gotten even cooler.
I would hope. You would think technology would. It's still the same.
35 years later, yeah. But I think even that.
I haven't changed anything.
I went with my daughter for like her Girl Scout troop, and this was probably a couple of years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And like they said, even that system there, that laser system, is like there's only one of like 7 or 8 of those on the planet.
It sounds familiar, right?
And it's like that literally cost like $1 million. So it was like a big investment when they opened up the planetarium. But
So it's still there. So maybe it is the real same show.
It could be
same system.
Right. I think they.
We spent $1 million, and we're going to make our money back.
Yeah. Actually, I went to the aviation museum with my boys not too long ago.
In Garden City?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it's really cool because they have the same type of planetarium there, but it's to show different flights and the path and everything and how far some of the early flights, all the history right here in our backyard
Right.
with Floyd Bennett Field and Roosevelt Field, right? But the guy started off, he was pretty witty, and he said, all right, so here's Earth, and if you think we're going to show you about, the Milky Way and the galaxy, you're going to have to go to the Vanderbilt Planetarium. He said, we're going to talk about, planes and everything here. But he like started off that way where you kind of felt like...
And then half the group leaves
Everyone's
because
like,
they thought that that's what they were there for.
this sucks. Right. Yeah, so that is cool too, the planetarium. But again, going back, like, Long Island has a really rich history of auto racing. Again with the Vanderbilt Parkway and the Vanderbilt races and all that stuff, and it's almost like the Le Mans race where part of it's on a racetrack. The 24-hour race that Ford versus Ferrari. If you guys anyone watched that recently, starts off on a racetrack, goes off the track, comes back on it again, and you're doing that for 24 hours, and it's pretty incredible, and people have died doing it regularly early on, and it was just that's what
Sounds
it is.
fun.
And yeah, actually a lot of the guys too that raced for Ferrari, a lot of them died. Like it was just like a regular thing. It was like, all right, well, I'm racing for the Ferrari racing team, and we're just going to go as fast as we can, and a lot of them died. And it was just like, well, that was it. Well, there you go.
Hope you had a good time.
I know, like here with all the, safety setups and everything like that. Like when Dale Earnhardt died, and he was a legend, in the NASCAR scene. It's like a big deal. But with some of those guys for, the Italian racing teams, they were just trying to go as fast as they can, and they were all like testing it to figure out, are these brakes good enough for 200 miles an hour? Well, let's see. And that's how it was. It was like no simulators or anything like that.
In fact, the race car that I was in, when they make you watch the training video today at RPM, it said, "This is an Italian race car."
Right.
So there you go.
There you go.
See?
There you
right.
have it.
Are real race cars? No, probably not though. Are real race cars have a left brake pedal, right accelerator, or is everything like a regular car? Because that was a little off-putting today. When you're braking with your left, I know there are some people who actually drive like that for real.
Right.
But to have,
Which is why there's
that's
so
the
many
way you're
accidents
sitting
on Long Island. Right?
Exactly. On top of texting and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Using 2 feet to drive. To brake with the left foot was, obviously it's the way the car is built. It's tight. Are real... I don't even know. Are real race cars?
They're set up the traditional
Formula 1's
way,
kind of
like where you're using your right foot. And,
everything's still right
Everything-
foot with
yeah,
that. I can't imagine. It was very off-putting.
Right, a little
On top
awkward.
of being a little overweight, here, and you have the
racing against
seatbelt.
Seymour Cox.
Seymour Cox. You want to beat him. You want to beat Cox, and then you did. Well, he actually beat me. Did I beat him? Yeah, I did beat him. Yeah. So anyway, that's another Seymour Cox story.
And I'm checking too. Sally, do we know for sure, because I know there's a lot of things that were being tested with on and off Facebook, and so I see we were live on Facebook. I'm going to go back to that again in a minute, but live on YouTube and like Boxcast. And,
Yeah, I was
and
actually
the Govs
watching
Radio?
it. I was watching it on the Govs Radio. Like
Okay,
I had
cool.
Govs Radio up.
All right, good.
Perfect.
So if you're watching this now and you're a fan of the show, share it out. If you're not a fan of the show, stick around. Maybe you'll become a fan of the show.
Or just share it out anyway and see what other people say, and then have like a conversation about it and what you like, what you didn't like,
Right.
and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's
Should
a
I
good
thank
idea.
Personal Touch Car Wash while
Yes,
we're here at the moment?
that's good. One of our
Speaking of listeners,
one of our sponsors.
listeners, for you, what do we want to do at the end of the show? Again?
Yes.
We'll give away a few passes to get a free car wash. So that's going to be something that we'll do. We'll also maybe do some trivia too, where you might have to ask a question, answer a question. I should say I'll ask the question definitely. But yes, Personal Touch Car Wash. We will be giving away that free car wash in just a little bit. But 2 locations in East Northport with Tom. You can go. Tom will wash the car for you.
Yeah, just
He'll
give me a
make-
call ahead of time so I can meet you there.
Because, we have to play soccer in Lindenhurst. So just want to make sure we're in Northport at the time. So East Northport, 1977 East Jericho Turnpike. Bohemia, their other location, 1261 Lakeland Avenue. And you can get unlimited washes starting at $23.95 a month at Personal Touch Car Wash. They also do full service detailing. Did you know that?
I do know that. You want to know how I know that?
How do you know that?
I've had it done before.
By
And-
them.
By them.
And?
They did a phenomenal job. Actually, one of the things I was thinking about with sharing a picture for them next time is the amount of people with high-end cars that go through there. Because I think, a lot of people are nervous, with you even just think your regular car.
Sure.
Like, you go through there sometimes and your car's going to get scratched or, anything like that. But the cool thing about them is a lot of people bring high-end cars there, Ferraris, Lamborghinis. If you hang out there, park across the street on a busy afternoon, you'll see a lot of really cool cars
Sit
go
with
through
the
there.
binoculars across the street.
It's not stalking. It's not weird.
No.
I'm a car guy.
That's it.
Right? That's what I do.
I'm doing research for my show. I do a show.
Cars and comedy. Anyway, just go through. Just go through. Nice car.
Govs Radio. Yeah, great. Nice.
Nice car, buddy.
What kind of jeans are those?
All right,
They
now,
are. They are Lee. Okay. All right. Just was making sure.
All right, now you're making it creepy. So
That's how I stalk.
I'm actually going there Monday to get a detail for my wife's car.
Very nice. I
Yeah.
definitely need detailing. I have a 2017 CRV. I got it last year, which we mentioned on the show before. So it's used. And I bought a new snow scraper, but the foam one, just so I wouldn't scratch the car. And then a couple months ago when we had a storm, I'm like, great, got this, going to use it. Put it on the front, scoop all the snow off or whatever. Next day, I got marks.
Son of a...
How does that happen with a foam brush?
You're pushing too hard.
Was I being too rough?
Being too...
Was I tapping too
too
hard?
aggressive.
Was I being a little aggressive
too
with
rough,
it?
yes.
And then from there, the ice that I'm trying to get rid of with the foam side,
Right.
not using a scraper. Now, they'll be able to, if I go to Personal Touch, they will be able to compound that out since it's semi-surface.
Yeah, generally speaking, like all that stuff can come out. Sometimes, you need a little more finesse. Where they would actually have to, fill that in a little bit through the clear coat. But generally speaking, if it's not through the clear coat, they can just buff that out and compound those scratches out.
I got to be more gentle. I don't know if you know this, Tom. A Personal Touch car wash where a dirty car.
Is a dirty shame.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I agree with that. So
I agree too.
But thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go there and look for ask for Mark, ask for Paul,
Mark and Paul.
Mark and Paul.
Mark and Paul.
Not only do they
That
do
guy across the street, Tom, who's staring at us.
He sent
He
me.
said, "Yes, yes,
he
him.
said,
That's
come
him.
and see
yes.
you. Yeah, no. Not only do they do a great job and have a great great business set up there, but just incredibly nice guys like Paul. Just
I love to hear that.
Nicest guys in the world. And with the charity that I'm involved with, the Michael Magro Foundation. I guess it's probably like the last 7 or 8 years when I approached them and said, would you like to get involved? Would you like to sponsor? Like before I could finish asking the question, they said, yes, just
I
let
said,
me.
absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Please leave our.
Get out of here. Stop stalking our customers. No, just like absolutely. Like tell us what you need. And they've
Love it.
They've been very, very generous to the Michael Magro car show, which is great.
Are you doing another Michael Magro car show? Hopefully.
We are. So
Is
that's
it
a
in the works?
great question. So it's funny. We had it at a very long time at the BOCES.
In Westbury, right?
Yes, the BOCES. What do you call it? It's a vocational school.
Yeah.
You say I think it was called Nassau BOCES there, right?
Yeah.
So it's in Westbury, and so the patriarch of the Michael Magro Foundation, Paul Magro, was taught culinary arts there for almost 30 years.
Okay.
And we had the car show there for years, and we have a golf outing at the Cold Spring Country Club in Cold Spring Harbor, right next to Oheka Castle. And so we moved it there for the last 2 years, and it's been great. However, this year they were unable, because so many people are like getting back out for the outings and everything like that. They were like booked solid. They gave us one date. We didn't have a rain date. So ironically, when we started looking at other places, we are going to have it at Sears in Hicksville. You know, Sears isn't there anymore.
Right. What is there now?
The parking lot is there.
I feel like I haven't been there. And
So I think there's a development deal in place. Ellie, you might know because it's closer to Levittown, but it's going to be like some housing and right.
I think they're actually kind of fighting the housing.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
And is it going to be like some stores?
They're
going to
be putting. They're going to be just. I think they're just zoned. The people that, because I read an article about it, they were saying that they're only zoned for stores, and even though the people that bought it for residential, you know, to put a condos and stuff, they're not allowing them. So there's a thing going on there, but the parking lot would be wide open for anything you want to do.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Chick-fil-A's there too.
Yeah, and Chipotle.
And Chipotle, you can have a great time.
Yeah, it'd be great. So ironically, the point I was getting at was we've had to use a rain date a few times because with car shows, you know, it's like you can't really do it rain or shine because a lot of the people aren't going to come out if it's raining. A lot of these cars don't get wet unless it's at Personal Touch Car Wash,
Of course.
or them washing it themselves. But we were supposed to go there this past Wednesday to like scope it out and figure out what part of the lot we're going to have it in. And unfortunately, we needed to use a rain date for the planning of it as well because that was when it poured on Wednesday.
Yes.
So we have 2 dates in the works right now for Monday nights in August. It's going to be at the Sears parking lot in Hicksville.
All right.
Yeah. Did you ever know anyone that worked at Sears in Hicksville? I feel like everyone in our area knew someone who worked there themselves.
Yeah, I actually remember Macy's used to be Stearns. I used to work at Stearns.
Stearns.
Across the street at Broadway Mall,
Right.
whatever. What is it, Mid-Island?
Was Mid-Island Plaza.
It was the
became
plaza,
Broadway Mall.
yeah. And I would go for lunch at the Ground Round.
Of course.
Yeah.
With all the peanuts on the floor.
Yes.
I worked in that Sears, and actually I was there getting people to open up Sears credit cards.
How'd you do with
really?
So
that?
like we had a table full of crap, and basically I was getting paid every time someone filled out an application for a Sears card. And I remember at the end of each shift I had to call into someone because it wasn't like run out of there, but someone, you know, like was reporting into like a regional manager.
Right.
And I remember if I got like 20 applications, I had to say like how many were missing a bank account or how many were missing something or, you know, an address or something, you know, because
So
sometimes
they fill it out and you're not checking for all that right away?
I'm not running their credit or anything, but we had a table full of shit. And it was like, remember the things you used to put on your keychain? Like, so if you can't find them, you whistled and
Yes.
beat back.
Uh-huh.
That's probably sold at the 99-cent store.
Absolutely.
Trying to think of some of the other stuff, but it was just like a whole load of crap. And like it was in a box. And
Was it Sears branded?
No.
Well, what was it from? Just a plain...
I think it looked like it would be stuff.
Who did you work for?
No,
Are you sure you're supposed to be at Sears? It sounds like you
worked
were
for
just
Sears.
someone who just walked in there, set up a table, and nobody questioned anything.
No, but it was like they bought all that crap to say, oh, you get a free gift if you
Right.
sign up. And like we had to memorize this whole script. And I remember I had friends that worked there, but they were like doing cool jobs. Like someone bought a refrigerator or, you know, a TV. And then you'd pull your car around the side and then they'd bring it out to your car. And so I had friends like my buddy Pete and they were doing that. So they were walking around in jeans or whatever. And I was wearing a suit. I was like 16 years old, 17 years old. And I was, you know, wearing a suit doing this thing. And they would all laugh at me and just try and take all this crap from my table.
Who told you to wear a suit?
They did.
They told you to wear a
Yes.
suit. I was going to say.
Yeah.
I feel like that's more like a mom-dad thing. You make sure you
wear a
present
suit
yourself
when you go to
You're trying
Sears
to
for
get
work. Yeah.
people's financial information.
Yes,
you
you're
need
asking
to
them
dress
for their Social
nicely.
Security. And that's weird too, right? You think about it, everything is so secure now.
Uh-huh.
They were handing me on a clipboard. I had everything there. So you think of kids now with like a cell phone.
No
can
one
just snap pics
ever,
and-
like, everyone always would ask for your social security number. And,
Right.
like, you never thought
You never
twice
thought
about it.
twice,
You just,
right?
like, give it out to everyone.
And then
Yeah.
other people said, we're going to take advantage of that. And
Right.
let's make sure we make your social security number ours.
Right. Yeah, it's funny. My dad just texted me also McDonald's
Do you want me
in
to
your
call,
younger years. Yeah, let's try Al in a minute. But yeah, my mom and dad are watching. Hello, Rich and Kathy Galati. I'm not sure if Christine's watching. I saw her earlier. and saying hello to my wife, my kids. I think they're watching at Frank's house, or they will be. And
if
hello
not,
to everyone. And if not, turn it on. You should be watching
We'll
it.
be forcing you later. We're going to gather around and watch every episode.
So hello to all the Galatis and Biancamanos and Ditzels as well. So hello, everyone. So I'm going to give you Al's phone number. Hopefully you catch him live. But yeah, I also worked at the McDonald's at Sears. Do you remember that?
I absolutely remember the McDonald's. I also remember there was a big mural of some sort in the Sears.
Of Long Island at the stairs going down. And it
to
had
the,
all
the McDonald's
explorers.
downstairs, right?
No.
Yep.
No, McDonald's was on that side by Bay Avenue or something.
What was downstairs? There wasn't anything major
I think
downstairs?
It was a cafeteria down there at
It
some
was,
point.
so it
Maybe
was
for
a
the employees.
cafeteria. Or there was definitely some
Yeah.
food-related thing down. But there was some big mural. Was it of Long Island?
Was it Long Island? Because I heard they moved it to like a library in the area.
Yeah, I think it was
Right?
a picture of Long Island.
Right?
But it had like all the explorers. It was like Amerigo Vespucci and like, right? And it was like
Yeah.
Christopher Columbus. And I mean, now people would like.
There it is.
Oh,
You
there
look
it
it
is.
up.
You have a
Town
picture?
returns historic mural home to Hicksville. This is back in 2018.
That would have been nice
Yeah,
to
there you go. This big giant
hang up
mural.
in my basement.
You want it?
No.
I'll take a screenshot for you, and I'll blow it
Wow,
up
look
poster
how large
size.
that is.
Yeah, it's huge.
see it?
I remember
Yeah.
that was the stairs going downstairs, right? And yeah, and who's on there? Isn't it like Hudson, the guy who Henry Hudson? This would be a good trivia game.
Mickey
Maybe
Mantle.
see if my dad remembers. Because actually, it's funny. My father, when he worked for Allstate, they had the whole separate automotive center in Hicksville, and my father was a rep for Allstate for a while, and he was in the automotive center. Allstate had a small office there as well, so we would go meet him there. And we also, when he worked at McDaniel Ford across the street, I remember like meeting him there and going to McDonald's sometimes when my dad was working late nights. So can you see who the explorers are on? I feel like Hudson. Is Amerigo Vespucci? I don't know what that name.
Not Vespucci.
Christopher Columbus?
No. And
Teddy
is-
Roosevelt?
Well,
I
yes.
think I see
Can you
him
see
on
his
the
face
bottom
right over there?
The
Yes.
famous explorer.
Roosevelt
Teddy
is there.
Are these? What's the significance? Are they famous?
One guy named Walt
Long
Whitman. I
Islanders?
don't know if
Walt
he had
Whitman.
anything to do with Long Island or
he
not.
opened up that mall on Route
Correct.
110.
Correct.
He was that wall magnate.
Absolutely. John Roebling. Henry Hudson. There's
Henry
your
Hudson.
explorers.
Yeah.
Peter Stuyvesant.
Uh-huh.
And John Underhill.
Who's that?
I was just about to ask
Who
you.
John Underhill is?
No.
You're the one who worked at Sears. You're supposed to tell
I
me.
should know.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, if I worked there, it would be easy. I could just Google it while I was there. But I remember that big whale. Yeah, that's a cool picture. It's a good memory.
So
All right, so let's try and call.
I'll screenshot it. I'm going to make this a poster size for you. And you'll hang it up in your room.
All right. So, all right, that's Al's number. So hopefully we catch him live. Hopefully,
Otherwise, we'll tape it, and then we'll play
just
it later. or
splice it in
something.
and make it sound like he was live. I don't know. Maybe
I'm
he's
just gonna. Put
We'll
him
just
on
nod our
so
heads a
when you
lot.
hear him.
okay.
We'll nod our heads a lot.
Maybe
and
he's
just move our mouth like we were talking to him for real.
hopefully he's not putting in a windshield right now.
I hope he's putting in a windshield. I want to hear that process live.
Thank you, Sally. And then hopefully while we're on the phone with Al, we can play trivia, and if not, either way, we'll play trivia
Of course.
with or without Al.
Listen, I'm not going to force Al to play
Yeah,
trivia.
I'm not gonna twist
all
his
right?
arm.
And also, I'm not going to have Al ruin our time of playing trivia.
I'm looking to see if Richard Galati is. I just got a text
It
from.
actually went to voicemail.
Went to voicemail. Okay, so
Oh,
maybe we
Al.
can try ring it. Come on, Al. You know who's here? Michael Perino is at Governor's right now.
He's here right now.
He's here.
Is what here physically at the moment?
He is physically here. I think so. He went here last night for a show. It's great that Governor's is up and running.
Of course.
And, some big names coming through here.
Yes. Do you
Who's-
have the schedule in front of you or no?
I could pull it up.
I'm going to go to govs.com right now.
Who was?
Or maybe Sally, who is kind of here a little bit more than
More
we are,
frequently than we
may
are.
or may not know.
Well, Joe DeVito will be here this evening.
That's what I was going to say. I see Joe
We're looking forward
DeVito
to
on
that.
the. It's a special event tonight. Angel Salazar is also here tonight too. Is that true?
No, I believe he is at the.
He's at Brokerage.
Right.
And Tim Crompier is over at McGuire's, and that is also tonight. So you've, what's the percent? What's we have 50%, 75% capacity?
Yeah, I think they're doing about. I think they're doing about a third to half. It depends.
And it's just a matter of how you arrange the seating and all that kind of stuff.
And did Tony go back up yet?
Yeah, he did.
How did that go?
Yeah, he took the comedy class and last year, and you're supposed to take it in January, and then 2 months later you're supposed to be on stage for 2 nights at Governor's doing whatever you worked on.
Right.
You know, and you get 7 minutes. And
That's great.
like the classes are usually 10 to 20 people, and so it closed down, like, you know, because of COVID. So so they just started doing it again.
Tony was the last comedian on
He
stage
was.
here before everything before comedy
See,
came to a screeching halt.
You get a
on Long
couple
Island.
of you get a couple of nights, like 2 to 3 nights. And the first night he went on, he was the last one, and the very next day they closed the comedy.
What did I say? Was it that bad? Did I?
Yeah. So
You know when you bomb really bad,
Tony, there's a pandemic.
They
It's
say
got
you-
nothing to do with you.
say you're bringing down the house.
yeah, there's been a lot of Kevorkian of comedy, you know, jokes. So it's just opened back up, and so just last week they did one of the nights, and he's doing another one May 2nd. But he really enjoyed it. He did great.
Awesome.
So-
I heard he did great that night. You know, a lot of people were saying that he did a really good job.
He likes it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I think
great.
he gets a kick out of it. Like, you know, he gets, you know, just the good feeling when he's up there, and he loves that stuff. So, yeah, I was happy for him.
That's good. That's great. Yeah, and so May 2nd is here, or is that at one of the other? Is that
I
McGuire's
believe, I
or
think
Brokerage?
that's in the Brokerage in Belmore. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try and go to see that because I remember I told Joe Carletto. I said I think the last person on stage should be the first, and I think Joe said, "Oh, I thought you want me to be able to sell tickets. That's why you told me to put Tony up." And I said, "Well, I thought you were only stuck at 30%. I said if you have to only fill 30% of the house, Tony's your guy.
Yep, he's your guy.
He won't help you sell more than 30%." So Michael Perino is listening now. So, Michael, you came here for a show. I'm looking at you on the within the text of the chat box on Facebook. Are you back here for another show, or did you just come to see me here? Michael Perino and I went to. I know Michael since Woodland Avenue Elementary School. We
Look
went
at
to
that.
elementary school together. Big Islander fan, great guy, and he was a hardworking essential worker during. We were just talking about quarantine. Stop and Shop, and I think CVS, both, if I'm not mistaken, Mike. You can tell me.
There you go.
And so he was working hard.
Unsung
and
heroes for that.
Absolutely.
Obviously, on top of doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals. DL Hughley going to be here next weekend. Look at that.
Big name.
Friday and Saturday.
Big
Bunch
name
of
in comedy.
shows. Joey Cola, who we have on the show on Roger and JP all the time. He's here Saturday, May 8th.
Very funny guy.
Maybe we can see if Joey can come in and hang here before he does that. Reach out to Joey. Hello, Long Island. Love Joey.
Yeah, he's been a big mentor to Tony, right? They're good friends, and
Yeah, Joey's great.
He
that's
is.
awesome. Yeah, he did one or two like streaming shows during quarantine that were really funny.
Yeah, he was one of the
from his
first ones.
living room.
Yes.
I think he's just uncomfortable not being on stage.
Getting
He
the-
Yeah.
loves
Yeah.
it so much
Absolutely.
that it was really. I think he felt lost for a bit. I
Yeah.
would imagine. You know, he likes to be up there all the time. You know, he's great at it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he does a whole bunch of warm-up
So
shows.
he does
too.
the warm-ups. Was it like Rosie O'Donnell
He
was
did,
like
he
his
did
big
that,
one a while ago?
And he did America's Got Talent for a while, and now for a whole bunch of years now he's done the Rachel Ray Show, and Rachel has him on camera a whole bunch of times too, doing stuff.
is that
yeah.
right?
Yeah. So Joey has done obviously very well for himself over the years.
Yeah, that's
on top
great.
of his own individual accomplishments with comedy, and he's done recently too. Touring with The Sopranos, with Bacala, and Christopher, and where they said that when it came to Westbury, couple of years ago, and he would host that. So it's pretty much The Sopranos, not Bacalao, freaking Big Pussy, and Christopher, and I forget who else it was. I think one other. And they would sit and they would answer questions about The Sopranos from the crowd and that kind of stuff, on top of telling their stories from filming it. And Joey would host it and kind of moderate it a little bit too. And thankfully, that's picking up again, and he's going to be doing some tours around.
Right.
Thankfully, with that again, so it's from concerts and sport. Thankfully, sporting events have come back, and now we're seeing comedy and little by little concerts and. Hopefully, it just continues to go from there.
Great. All right, so let's do some trivia, Brett.
Okay.
And these questions will be harder than last time.
Okay.
Right?
Do you want?
That's what I told you to do.
I hope so.
I told you to make
Said
sure.
Step your game up.
Feel free to put your answers in the
really
chat
screwed
on
things up.
Facebook, or I'll try and look to. Can you see the chat on YouTube, Sally? If anyone answers there.
Sure.
And
Do you want any callers as well? That number's there over in the bottom of the screen there.
yeah, let's put out that number if anyone wants to call.
516-465-3990.
Yeah, it's on the screen.
Yeah, that little number on the screen. It's not just fancy. It's a real usable number if you want to join in. But I have a whole bunch of questions, so I can start off. Do you and Sally want to play with each other or against each other? I'm sorry, play
Yes.
against each other, not
Yes,
with.
against each other.
Not the same team, or whatever you want to do. I mean, you want to answer questions, you want to not, whatever you want to do.
All right. Yes, let's play against each other.
Okay. What is generally considered to be the first pony car?
Well, this is too easy because I am.
You know the answer?
Yes.
Can I? All right. So you know the answer.
I know the answer for sure.
Should I let Sally guess with the multiple choices, or you just want to scream it out?
Does Sally know?
No, I don't even know what a
Your
pony car is.
choices. Your
Oh,
choices,
multiple
Sally,
choice. I love that.
are the Chevrolet Camaro, the Pontiac Firebird, a Mercury Cougar, or Ford Mustang. Which is generally considered to be the first pony car?
The Mustang.
You are correct.
And I click it, ding.
All right. So that one we know for sure.
There you go. Although Plymouth enthusiasts insist that the Barracuda beat the Mustang to market by 2 weeks, it was the Ford Mustang first introduced at the New York World's Fair on April 17th,
I was just gonna say
1964. We have hit the, was that 50?
Coming up on 60 years,
60
right?
years?
In 2024.
So
Is that
58,
60?
57?
I think we just had
50-something.
50.
Long time ago.
Right.
Long time ago. It's still there. The World's Fair in some capacity, kind of,
Yeah,
sort
we
of.
just passed. So I follow a lot of the pages, like a lot of the Mustang clubs that I belong to, and everyone was April 17th was sharing pictures out. I showed a picture out of one of my Mustangs that day, and it's an important day in the Galati household.
100%. Everybody
Yeah.
knows that day for
Right.
that. What was the first Japanese car to be produced in the United States?
All right, we need multiple choice.
Okay, multiple
'Cause
choice
I have an
time.
idea in my head, but I'm not sure.
Well, is the idea in your head a Toyota Camry, a Nissan Maxima, a Honda Accord, or Mazda Miata? What was the first
Honda
Japanese car to be produced in the United States? Sally, you say Honda.
Honda Accord.
Both say Honda Accord. I'm clicking the Accord. You are correct. November 1982, the first American-produced Honda Accord rolled off the assembly line. For bonus points, where? You'll never guess it.
Tennessee.
No. Sally.
Detroit.
No.
That would be the
That would be-
anti.
yeah, that would
Yeah,
be
they'd
like
be.
the
Marysville, Ohio, auto plant in Ohio. I'm sorry, you were close.
Sorry.
Detroit.
Sorry.
Would you
All
say
right.
Tennessee?
Yes, I said
You're
Tennessee.
here, and then here's Ohio over here.
All right.
Son of a gun. Next question. What car sold more than 1 million units in 1965, setting a record that still stands today? Is it the Buick Wildcat, the Chevy Impala, Pontiac GTO, or the Ford Thunderbird? What car sold more than 1 million units in 1965, setting a record that still stands today?
My guess is going to be Pontiac GTO.
Pontiac GTO, Sally, you say.
I'll go for that too.
Double go, and you're double wrong.
Double
Is it the
wrong.
Ford?
Was it the Thunderbird?
It is not the Ford Thunderbird.
That was going to be my second guess.
It is the Chevy Impala.
Chevy Impala.
Originally introduced in 1958, the Impala was the best-selling automobile in the United States during the 60s.
Interesting.
Yes. And early Impala models, and I know this offhand, of course. Who doesn't? Sported 6 taillights, which was a unique feature
There
for
was
the time.
3 on each side as little circles. Like I can picture those.
Which is now
it's a nice looking car.
become the Impala trademark. And the Impala named after what?
Wasn't it a bird or? So I feel like I could picture the logo, but it's not easy to make out. I'm gonna say a bird. Or a gazelle. Is it like a gazelle type animal?
Might be closer
Well,
there.
a bird would be a gazelle, so.
Kind of?
Well,
Sort of?
no.
You ever look up in the sky and go, "Oh my God, look at that beautiful Impala."
Look at that! You got a panther.
Hope that Impala doesn't shit on my head. Yeah.
It's an African antelope.
Oh, right. No, because now that makes sense. I'm thinking like when I was thinking of the logo a little better, I was thinking like an African antelope.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
It just slips
I
your
think
mind.
I said gazelle, and I think that was pretty good.
I think that's
it's in the same
same
family. I think it's a cousin to the African
Correct.
gazelle.
Oh, correct. Absolutely.
African, yes.
We continue. What was the first car to break the sound barrier?
Honda Accord.
It's we're not. It's a souped up version only.
Right.
Is the one that breaks the sound barrier.
Wait, what is the car that you and Sally had? Not.
The Toyota Corolla
Toyota
SR5.
Yeah.
All right.
We had the SR5.
And that's not it either,
from
right?
'84. No, that was
that's not
second
one
place.
of the choices.
That's
Okay.
second place.
What are the 4 choices, Brett?
Well, Tom, Hennessy Venom GT, the Thrust SSC,
Ooh.
the Bugatti Veyron, is that how you pronounce it? Veyron, and the Koenigsegg,
Koenigsegg.
that one.
Koenigsegg, I think is the way you say it.
That one. So the first car to break the sound barrier, the Hennessy, the Thrust, the Bugatti, or the
Koenigsegg. I answered first last time, Sally.
Sally, please.
The one that was the GT.
That was the Hennessy Venom GT. That's what Sally says.
Sounds very exotic. I'm going with the Bugatti.
He's going Bugatti. I'm going to click
Veyron.
Hennessy first, and that is incorrect. I apologize.
Sorry.
Bugatti, by the way, wrong answer as well. The answer is the
Mazda Miata.
Thrust SSC, followed by the Mazda Miata, followed by the Toyota Corolla SR5, followed by the souped-up Honda Civic in fourth place.
Right,
So,
okay.
driving the Thrust SSC at Nevada's Black Rock Desert in 1997, Andy Green became the first person on land to go faster than the speed of sound.
That's pretty awesome. Pretty cool.
The sonic boom shook a school and caused sprinkler covers to fall off in the nearby town of Gerlach,
That's awesome.
Nevada. So there you go. And I have a fifth question here if you would like.
Sure.
Let's see. What was the
6:20
first
already.
car to be mass produced? The first car, do you want to guess first? Or you want to have some multiple choice actions?
So I'm thinking it's Ford Model A or T.
Both are which are guesses here on the
Okay.
multiple choice.
Now I feel like you're talking mass produced, which is making me think Model T, which I think there was way more of those. I think the Model A might have been like some type of built by hand prototype thing before he had the assembly line going. So I'm going to say Model T.
Model T.
T for Thomas.
T for Tom. We also have other choices. The Duryea Motor Wagon, the Model T, the Model A, like Tom said, and Packard.
The Packard.
First car to be mass produced out of those choices. Sally, you say.
What say you, Sally?
I'll go with the Packard.
She's going Packard, and you are wrong, Sally. I apologize.
Man.
And Tom, you're going with the A or the T?
I'm going T.
He's going T for Tom, and T is correct. Henry Ford introduced the assembly line December of 1908, a long time ago, and as a result, not able to mass produce the Model T, but was able to offer it to customers at a much lower price than the competition. 1913, by then, Ford was producing half of all cars sold in the United States, and by 1927 had sold more than 15 million Model Ts. Are there any
That's
around
incredible.
that are not in a museum at this point? Is anybody driving those
like,
on
like
Sundays?
daily, like going to like
no,
taking it to
like
work?
on a Sunday. Can a Model T
yeah,
be
you see
driven
them.
today?
You see them on the road. Yeah, I definitely see them at car shows.
Where do you get car parts for those these days? If you need something,
You go
does
to,
AutoZone have that kind of stuff? or
JC
not?
Whitney. Yeah, you go to Pep Boys, and when they're looking up the brakes, you just say 1927 Model T.
Okay, so they have it. So that's good.
Yeah, they have it. I remember Henry Ford was famous for the quote at the time. He was only making them in black. And his quote, his line at the time, which has become infamous in the car world, was, "You could have any color you want as long as it's black." So it was
And people are like, "That's great.
That's what I wanted.
Cool. I love options are great.
Yeah.
This is so cool."
Thanks for all the options.
Henry Ford, he thinks of us.
All right, so let's do one more. I think we have
Want
time
one
for
more?
one more. I have to do a live read for Mission Epoxy, our other sponsor.
Yes.
And then you have to give out the code for car washes.
Correct.
All right.
Let's see.
Last question.
Ooh, I like this question. The inventor of cruise control was who?
Tom Cruise.
I was going to say Henry Cruz.
Henry Cruise.
That was Henry Ford's middle name.
I'm gonna have
Cruz.
to.
So Tom, you're saying Tom Cruise. I'm going to say Penelope Cruz.
This is great.
And if they ever got married, her name would be Penelope Cruz.
Right. Correct.
Cruise.
Yes, Cruz.
Delicious too.
Yes.
Cruise
It
is
is.
really good as a side.
Yum.
And
All right, so you have Tom Cruise. I said Penelope Cruz. All right, what are our real choices?
the real choices, which are equally as ridiculous: a 12-year-old child, a homeless man, a blind man, or a robot.
What about a blind and homeless 12-year-old child?
It could be a combined thing. I don't know, but here they're separate.
So what was the last one? A robot?
A robot.
Well,
A robot, a blind man, a homeless man, or a 12-year-old child. The inventor of cruise control was
12-year-old child.
12-year-old child, Sally.
Yeah, I was going to go with that
Right?
too.
You're like,
We're going both.
Dad,
with the
wouldn't it be
child.
great if you just click a button and you could stop accelerating and decelerating on this 5-hour trip to Hershey Park?
Yeah, why don't you invent that?
Yeah, okay. Why
there,
don't you
kid?
invent it, sweetheart, and then Daddy will use it the next time we go to Hershey Park. All right, so we both said 12-year-old child, right?
And you're
Right.
both wrong. It was not a 12-year-old child. It was not a homeless man.
13-year-old child.
It was not a. It was a 13-year-old
It was a
child.
homeless-
That's bullshit.
All right.
What? Who did this?
He was a homeless dude.
It was not a homeless man. It was not a robot. It was a blind man. Modern cruise control invented in what year? Around.
Modern.
I would say it was definitely around in the 60s. I'm
Oh,
gonna
was
say,
it?
I think.
I was
I'm-
going to say like low 80s, high 70s.
I'm gonna say
Supposedly,
1958.
ooh, that was pretty good. But it's 1948.
Oh.
And modern cruise control invented in 1948 by mechanical engineer Ralph Titor, who became blind at age 5 in an accident. His idea was born out of the frustration of riding in a car driven by his lawyer, who kept
driving
speeding
like
up
this.
and slowing down. Yep, as he talked.
So just like Sue at RPM,
Correct. Though she
but
she
just mostly
stayed-
slowing down.
You felt like she hit cruise control and just stayed there the entire time in the right lane, making her way around. So there you go. Invented by a blind man.
All right, so let's pull up. Let me do Mission Epoxy,
Okay.
one of our proud sponsors, or at least we're proud. I don't know if they're proud.
I'm very proud of them.
Is that this?
Yeah, that was one of the red cars from our last show that,
That
you
looked
were.
the same to me. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was the same red
You were
car that were
positive.
different.
Yeah, there was only a $90,000 difference.
Do
between
not
the
go
two
by
cars.
me.
All right, so if you like the picture, so you could see that up on the screen, Sally.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I'm going to put that right up there.
Thank you.
Fire up the picture.
So when you look at a cool floor like that in like a, you'll see that at a lot of car showrooms or the dealership or even the service shop. It's basically it protects the floor, right? So if you spill something on there like motor oil or anything like that, it's very easy to clean up. Whereas cement, your traditional cement garage would be porous and it would seep in there
Sure.
and make a big stain and be disgusting. Well, they come in and they basically like rough up the floor. They come in and put this epoxy coating down. This is, of course, a really cool high-end job with the Porsche logo in there, which is awesome. And then it's like coats of, a protective sealant on there. But they told me, because I said, what's a good picture you want me to show? And they said, I don't know, pick anyone you like. And this is my favorite. I just think it looks so cool, and that garage looks so cool done up like that. But the cool
And
thing
it
about
is your actual garage
this is
and
my
vehicle.
garage.
So that's the cool
Yes,
part
so that's
too.
even cooler. So I said, you know what? Just take a picture of my garage and my Porsche. The cool thing too is the guys that run Mission Epoxy, they're veterans. So you're supporting
Excellent.
veterans who support our country, which is great. So you could just go to missionepoxy.com or you can call 516-986-5100. You can tell them you heard about them from the Cars and Comedy show at Governor's, and they'll take care of you. They'll give you a special price. If you mention my name, they might charge you double.
Right.
But if you mention the show, they will take care of you and give you a great price. So 516-986-5100, missionepoxy.com. Thank you, Sally.
Sure.
What else?
Is
what
it
else we got?
Is it car wash time?
Yeah, give out the number.
So, and we have 3 today. So, if you want a free car wash from our sponsor, Personal Touch
Who
Car
doesn't?
Wash, I want it. You want it.
Sally
they
wants
want it. Sally wants it. We all want it, but only 3 people can have it, and they can't be in this room. So, for Cruising the Pike viewers, the first 3 people to text Elwood, ELWOOD, to 844-518-0909 right now. That's 844-518-0909 right now. We'll get a free car wash from Personal Touch Car Wash. Personal Touch Car Wash, a dirty car.
Is a dirty shame. Isn't
That's
that
true.
right, Sally?
Yes, that
She
is
knows.
absolutely right.
She knows.
Right.
And thank you to them. You can visit them at their 2 locations. One in East Northport on 1977 East Jericho Turnpike, or in Bohemia, 1261 Lakeland Avenue. Thank you, Personal Touch Car Wash. And also their website, too, would probably help out, elwoodcarwash.com. And Elwood, again, is that word to text to 844-518-0909 to get your free car wash. First 3 people. Now, go. Text it.
Ready? Go.
And text.
So we're wrapping up. We're right at the end of our show. But one of the things that we didn't do last time that I think we should do now is how can people find us online? So if you want to find out when we're going to be live,
Right.
We're doing this every other Saturday, 5:30 to 6:30. If
You call my number first, and then you let me know when you're ready to listen and view and watch, and I'll respond back. I'll let you know when we're on. That's what we do.
Yeah, so just call Brett anytime.
Anytime.
Just if
Number's right at the bottom of the screen there.
he'll tell you, he'll send you the link.
That's right.
So you go to Cars and Comedy, search for us
I'm gonna
on
do it right now.
Facebook.
So if I search Cars A&D Comedy, it comes up right away. Cruising the Pike, Cars and Comedy with Tom and Brett. You click that link, and I already like the page, so that's good.
All right, that's good. How many likes do we have now?
We have 1.
We don't
And that's
have
me
one.
from
That's
when
not
I
from today.
did it.
I think we have like 500 followers.
We have a little under 500 at the moment.
Okay, let's see
Soon
if we
to
can
be
get,
over 500.
Can we get over 500? So please
course
go there,
we are.
give us a like. You'll get notified when we're live, and also on Instagram. I'm on Instagram as Wannabe Millennial. Brett Radio Brett,
At Radio Brett on Instagram and Twitter.
and we have the link in our bio. So
Yes, to watch the show anytime. Takes you right to the govscomedy.com website.
great. So we hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you guys soon. So have a good night, Brett.
Have a wonderful night.